Hi everyone, welcome to the live chat. It's not often I do these, but I thought it's a chance tonight to bring Charlie and Steph with me, who do a lot of investigations with me. Basically, for those who know me, UK Paranormal Search is me, that is me, but I do bring Charlie and Steph on quite a lot of investigations, and if you look back at the videos, you'll see them quite regular on the videos. Now, last night we investigated Tudor World Museum in Stratford upon Avon, and again we took Charlie and Steph with us, so I'm going to bring them on now.
Hello.
Hi.
You all right?
Yeah, all good. Yeah.
So last night we investigated again Tudor World in Stratford upon Avon. It was a place we did 11 months ago.
Yeah.
If I remember, I think it was about 11
Is that
months
really
ago.
11 months ago?
Yeah, it was about a year
Yeah,
ago.
It was literally a year, like a year ago this month, I think.
Wow.
And things happened that night, didn't it, that made you want to go back? Do you want to talk about our previous investigation at Tudor World and what happened, especially to Charlie? And then what we'll do, we'll talk about what happened last night. The video isn't out for last night, but we will talk about that. And then we're going to talk about our nightmare on the way home. We think we got followed. Joke.
Yeah,
But
we
we were
did.
laughing about it. We thought, ever since we left Tudor World last night, we honestly thought we'd been cursed. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, shall we go and talk about our last visit to Tudor World?
Yeah.
Especially
Come
you,
on,
Charlie.
Well, probably better from your perspective, Charlie, because was Tudor World your like second or third investigation that you've ever done? The first time we went.
With you guys, probably, yeah, like the third investigation to a new location.
Yeah, because you haven't been on many, had you? Up until then, but something happened to you, didn't it?
Yeah. So what was it like from your perspective then, that's your third ghost hunt?
Last year when we went, I realized that I enjoy like the history of the places. So for me, it was really cool walking through that, being able to go through that museum during the night when nobody's there was like a cool kind of element and experience. But in terms of like paranormal, I think Steph and I, when we arrived, both said like, "Oh, it feels like someone's watching us here." But a ton of stuff happened throughout the night, but it was just repetitively things happening, which I think happened a lot more last year than it did yesterday. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But last year, I like hand on heart, because it's so pitch black, had the torch shining at our feet. And then as I was looking to make sure I didn't trip on anything, because it's so creaky and uneven surfaces in there, that like I saw a foot almost as if it was hiding, peeking out from behind the wall, which is the most spooked I think I've ever been on an investigation.
Yeah, you were definite.
Yeah.
It was a foot, wasn't it? You saw poking out just behind the wall.
Yeah. And I obviously all I saw was the foot, because I was looking down to make sure I wasn't tripping. And Steph made like a good remark in the moment of like, well, I wonder what you would have seen if you were looking up. But at the moment I saw that, thought, oh my God, there's somebody in here that's not with us. Like, freak. And then I remember just with the torch like shining up and running back to you guys, being spooked, expecting to see someone there, and there was nothing. And we tried to recreate it. I even rewalked it literally about a minute afterwards, and yet we couldn't. So
yeah, and that really spooked you. That
it did.
That probably shook me up.
And then you went down to the barn, and you was just messing around with your friend on the phone, wasn't you? Talking, doing a mobile phone video call or whatever you was doing, and all of a sudden you just stopped dead because you heard a chair move upstairs, which we have got on. I think we did put it on the video.
You put a clip of it. You put a clip of it on the video.
And you just stopped dead, and you went so serious. And you said, "What was that?" I won't say what the other words was, but
it was so loud though. I remember that happening on that first investigation, and we were just chatting and messing around downstairs where the bed is, and the noise of that, it was startling. It was like air had been slammed down, and there was sort of like a drag. It was It was just really, really loud.
That was probably the loudest noise we've ever actually had.
Up until last night, but we'll talk about that
Yeah.
later.
Up until last night, I think out of all the other investigations and knocks we've heard and whistling and like whimpers, that at Tudor World last year, the bang that we caught on footage was the loudest thing I've ever heard during an investigation that I couldn't explain.
It definitely came from above us that day, didn't it? Because I listened back.
Definitely.
Oh, and it echoes through the walls. You know it did. Like you can hear just like the thud. It was almost as if like a chair had been moved above us. Or yeah.
Because like when we go in there, because it was your obviously because you hadn't been on many, Charlie. Did you find it more psychologically spooky because of all? Obviously, there's a lot of mannequins in there. There's a lot of reenactments of the Black Death and the Plague Doctor. And
See, that doesn't.
Did it actually affect you? I mean, psychologically during the investigation, that there was all these exhibits around of mannequins.
I mean, I don't think it did. I think I was more spooked going into the like World War II bunker tunnels. And I think that's because I knew that truly like people were down there during the war. You could imagine how scared they were. You could imagine how stressed. Bombs were landing above them. Like that to me, being like quite empathetic, was more creepy than just seeing a museum that's decorated to promote.
Yeah, but it is an original building though.
Yeah,
Tudor
it's
World.
yeah.
So it was a pub.
Yeah.
It was, there was actual people there.
But on your perspective, Steph, because obviously previous to that, you've been on quite a lot of investigations with me. Did it affect you in any way? Because I think that's probably the place where you've been where there's been lots of exhibits as well and mannequins to that extent.
Yeah, I've obviously been with you ghost hunting for 20 years, and we've been to loads of places where there's mannequins and Hat Green Nuclear Bunker.
Yeah, there's that place.
Yeah, and jails and museums, and there's loads of places where there's mannequins and artifacts and things like that. The thing with Tudor World that I think is special about it and unique about Tudor World is that it's so dark when you're inside. There's no natural light, and it's narrow and pokey as well. And there's little rooms everywhere. There's doors, and it's creaky and
little curtains for people to peek around.
Yeah, you feel like you're being watched all the time because there's so many spaces for someone to sit and watch you that you wouldn't know. So
true.
That's my thing with Tudor World. We've been to loads of places, and places that we've had really interesting things happen and things that I can't explain. But Tudor World, I really like it because it's so unique.
Yeah, so because we enjoyed it that much, obviously we went back yesterday. The video's not out. We will talk about that. And it was a weird night, wasn't it? Because we debunked quite a lot of stuff, didn't we, last night?
Yeah.
But there was one moment when we was in the room that you didn't like, when it made you feel physically sick because we honestly thought that somebody had burgled or there was a burglar in the building. Yeah,
I think with Tudor World, you generally get knocks and creaks and sounds, and it is an interesting place for that. But like you say, we heard the bins from the businesses and things like that. And saying that though, last night, in my opinion, it was a really quiet night. There wasn't a lot of noise from the road. It was a Monday night. It was cold, miserable, rainy night. And in my opinion, it was a lot quieter than last time we went, actually. Hi, guys. It was a lot quieter than last time we went. And for me, the sound that we heard that was a little bit more shocking for all four of us sat there, I don't think that sounded like the other sounds that we'd heard throughout the night. Because I was convinced that someone had broken in under. I was convinced somebody had broken in at some point because it sounded like there's like tankards in the shop, isn't there? And we thought
we all said, didn't we, that's somebody messing with the tank cards downstairs.
It sounded like
That
a
bang.
door had
But I
slammed.
did say, I think I
Yeah.
did say on the video that, you know, we got to be careful that it could be outside. And later on in the night did prove it, that a lot of the stuff was from outside. But whether that noise hit different to you two, I don't really know.
Yeah, it did for me.
Yeah.
Because it
I
made
think
you feel
instinctually-
physically sick. You was
I
gone
mean, I
on
felt-
the investigation.
that was me done then for the
You was
night.
finished, wasn't you? I mean, psychologically, did you all night, that, didn't it?
I was done because, like I say, I think Tudor World puts you on edge anyway.
Mhm.
Even though I'm experienced and I've been, you know, doing a lot of ghost hunts, Tudor World does put me on edge anyway because it's so dark. You can't see your hand in front of your face when the torches are off. And I was a little bit on edge, and we'd had a few knocks and a few bangs, and then we have that massive sound, and I was convinced that a physical person was underneath.
I think we all was, though, at the time, wasn't we? I
Yeah,
honestly
but, you know,
think we all was.
Yeah, but you know, instinctually, like your fight or flight, like I'm talking about evolutionary speaking, you can identify a location of a sound. So your brain, I know you can be tricked and you can be fooled and whatever else, but my instinct was that sound was directly underneath us, and I actually felt at that time that the bench had vibrated, that I was
Yeah, I
sat
remember
on.
you saying that.
Yeah.
I could feel it underneath the floor. That noise was so loud that I knew it was underneath me, or felt like it was underneath me. So I did feel physically sick because I thought it was a real person. I didn't think it was a spirit. I thought it was an actual person had broken in.
I think I did, because we did go down to check, didn't we, that all the doors were locked. And
So it went down, and there was nobody outside. You know, you checked the whole perimeters.
we did, because we took the night vision camera with us onto the car park at one point. I think Gary was filming, and we went onto the car park.
And there was no one there. There was no car noises. There was no getaway or whatever. But don't forget as well that the door to the break room was shut when we
That's
went.
right. None of us shut, did we? It was a very, very heavy door, wasn't it?
And it hadn't shut all night. None of us had shut it, and it didn't. We opened it and it didn't shut again for the rest of the night. So why was that door shut?
And thinking about it as well, that to me, to distinguish that sound from hearing the others, from like the bin and the rubbish that we picked up, like when we were downstairs, when we heard those 3 bangs, and I said, that sounds like car doors. Immediately, I said to Steph, that sounds like car doors. And then Steph went, well, actually, I think everybody said, no, I think that could be in the house.
Yeah.
And then I said, no, I'm pretty sure that's car doors. And then you could hear the wheelie bins being pushed.
Yeah.
You could hear the lid being opened. And then you could hear all the glass being like dropped out. And then you could hear them take it back. That noise to me that we heard, hand on heart, I think was a door slamming. Like it literally, to me, it sounded like a door had been slammed shut, and then there was a metal sound afterwards.
Which could have been the door to the break room.
Which could have, because based on like the location we were, just outside that room where we were sat on the bench, just outside is that little stage area, and then the door.
Yeah.
So it could well have actually been that being slammed shut that we heard. I don't know what the metal sound following would be, but
that my brain, as soon as I heard that sound, I straight away said to Phil and you and Gary, that to me sounded like a door slamming and then 2 metal tankards smashing together. And Phil said, yeah, it did sound like metal tankards.
It did sound like that. It sounded like somebody was in the shop, robbing the shop.
Yeah.
It really did.
Like they'd grab tankards.
But it's one of them now. We're never really going to know. It's a maybe. It's, you know, we can't say it's paranormal, but we can't say it isn't. It's a maybe.
You know, on the audio, because you had a microphone on the camera and then a microphone on the bench next to us. Can you like distinguish both audios?
I should be able to, because one should be louder than the other camera.
Okay.
So I had 2 mics, so hopefully one mic's pick the sound up more than the other. Because when you put the 2 mics on, it's working off 2 mics instead of just one. So it's picking up the sound from the camera, and it was picking up the sound from where we were sat as well. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
So
I
we'll
was
have
going to say,
two.
'cause it'd be interesting if it was like two separate to see which one was louder, whether it was like at
Yeah,
the back
because I
of the
didn't have the
wall.
other camera on at the time, did I? We just had the one camera going at the
No.
time. So it'd be interesting
But
to
that
listen.
room was the most interesting place
Yeah.
all night.
It's a
And it
weird
always
room
has been.
It's a very weird room.
because
Even when we were in,
Gary kept
sorry,
seeing
what-
smoke.
Yeah.
yeah, a haze.
He was seeing lights. And really, that's probably not the active room in there. The hay
They
bar's
say-
supposed to be one of the active rooms, and yet the last twice we've been in there, it's just felt nothingless.
Did you think it was interesting what Charlie got on the spirit box when we first started? You
No.
didn't think that was at
I don't.
all when you
No.
asked for a name?
No, I don't.
Really?
No.
I thought that
Personally,
was
no.
quite interesting.
I know you enjoy doing your little SB7 box, don't you? Do you want to tell everyone?
I did enjoy being able to play
Everyone what
around with
happened?
those for an hour.
Tell everyone what happened, because a lot of people are into them. So just
Yeah, well, Charlie does seem to. You seem to really connect with it. Like you can understand it quite clearly. I really struggle. I can't get any words out of it at all, really. But we'd started on that, and you went in one room, and I was stood with you, and then Phil was at the other end of the corridor, and you had it so loud, so you couldn't hear any external noise. And
but see, I like those loud because a lot of the times the quieter words are like, to me, the ones that are actual words rather than just like music or static. But yesterday, my God, there was just you kept on hearing it. I kept on flinching.
Yeah.
But there was a really frequent, like high-pitched sounds.
Yeah.
I've never experienced using that anywhere else.
Yeah.
But that's why I had to get off it after about 5 minutes.
It was like an audio interruption, wasn't it? It would like jolt, the volume would shoot up for a reason. But what was interesting, and I just find it a little interesting tidbit. But obviously, when we did that and Phil was asking the questions, I think you had it on TikTok Live, didn't you, when you did it? Or you went on live?
I'm not sure, Steph. No, I can't remember.
Yeah. But your first question was, you said, "Who's here with us? Give us your name. Tell us your name."
Oh, yeah.
And straight away, well, Charlie, say what you heard.
Oh, well, I just heard static, and then normally it's just like normal spoken words, and it was a really low, like aggressive John, but it was like John. It was like,
there is supposed to be an aggressive female in an aggressive male in Tudor World called obviously John Davis, who was the knife sharpener. Who killed lots and lots.
I got like another name through as well.
That's what I'm saying. Was it John came through, or was it just coincidence that name came through?
It's just interesting because as soon as she said John, she then heard
now the sweetheart and the blow of breath on my neck.
The breeze on the back of your neck, and then I had it in front of my face.
See, that was interesting as well because
you made me uncomfortable.
You kept getting the smell of BO, Steph.
Yeah.
And that is another, because I told you last night that it was one of the phenomena when that John Davis is around, that he smells of old alcohol.
I didn't know that.
BO,
I didn't from last time. But I was sat there and the smell, it was like stale sweat. That's the best way to describe it.
And that's like the phenomenon they say is in there when he's around, when he actually comes around.
And you got touched on the bum as well.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, but I thought that was Charlie. I know it wasn't Charlie, but I thought, and it wasn't like a pinch or anything. It was because when we jumped up and freaked out at that sound, I was stood up in front of Charlie. And I thought she put her hand out to say, "I'm here, I'm behind you," something like a comfort. And then I felt this like pat on my backside, but it wasn't Charlie.
I was too busy with Gary. You turned around and you touched my bum. No?
I'm looking forward to looking back at the footage.
Yeah, I am.
Wait see what we video. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you seem to get a lot," but what people don't forget, you're doing a 30-minute video in 4 or 5 hours of filming. So a lot of the time, within that time, where nothing happens, but because people watch it, you think, "Oh, didn't a lot happen?" But when you actually edit it down and dress it down, really, you've only put in 35-minute video into like 5 or 6 hours work, which I think a lot of people do forget. So there is a lot of time where nothing really happened at all.
Oh yeah, and sometimes you can be sat in any room in any building, and it
Like Strelly
feels
Hall, wasn't it? Strelly Hall, we got
Strelly
absolutely
Hall.
nothing. It's
No.
Strelly Hall, and
it didn't even feel particularly spooky, or it was just quite calm, the whole building.
Yeah.
So, is it a place you'd like to go back to still, or?
Yeah,
I'll do Tudor World again.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think if I did Tudor World again, and I heard another really loud bang in the same place in the building, then I think that would spook me out even more, because then that's 3 separate times. That's 3.
And what you got to remember, when you heard that bang the first time you was there, we was above that room where we was actually stood, I think, where we were sat.
Yeah, so the first time we went to Tudor World and we heard that bang, it came from the room that we were then sat in last night. So the sound, the activity seems to be in that area.
It's just that area, yeah. It is a weird area.
And it was in that area where I saw like the foot.
It was in the area where you saw your foot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a split of half, isn't it? Like you go through the next half and it just seems to go so
fine.
You know what I mean? And it's no different to the other half of the building to look at. In fact, there's more mannequins and more exhibits in the other half of that building.
Yeah, you've got the plague doctor and everything.
Know what that part was. You know, was it all the pub? Was it only half of it the pub? I don't really know. To be honest, I'm not sure.
It's a really interesting place.
But yeah,
I really like it.
So, quick fire question then, Steph. The bang, was it paranormal or not?
Yes. Yeah.
Charlie?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm looking forward to hearing it back.
I was going to say, I'll hear it back and actually come up with a reason. But to me, it was the fact that we heard multiple sounds around the other bangs. And yet for this one, it was one bang, a weird metal noise, like metallic noise afterwards. And then that was it. Like we all said, everybody shut up. Just because if there was a person, you need to hear them. Well, that was it. If it was kids coming in, we had to all be quiet just to hear them. So we all went like, shut up, listen.
Well,
and we had nothing.
I think it was more spooked in case it was actually the living that had got into the building more than the dead.
Yeah, same.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. But on that consolation of that place, from my perspective, I do think you need to be careful where noise comes from because the walls are so thin. The windows are double glazed. You know, could it be something from just a distance that's vibrating through the building? It's just another possibility of what that noise could have been last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm open to it.
And I did say
even though when it happened, it was spooky. It spooked me.
Yeah.
You made it worse because you was ready for going. I made you sit back down again.
Yeah, but it made me feel physically sick.
I know it did. I know. I remember looking at you on camera. You were so jumpy after that.
Oh, I was, and unfortunately for me, and this, you know what, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times this has happened in 20 years where something has spooked me so much that it affects the rest of my night. I can't get out of that fight or flight mode. And that happened last night. And any sound I heard after that, I was on edge. I was like, what's that? What's that? But the only other place that has happened for me that I can remember clearly was not Bake Up Theatre, Morecambe Winter Gardens. Morecambe Winter Gardens.
When you was only about 17 then, Steph.
Yeah. About 17, yeah. And I was convinced that
you plugged the rules.
Yeah. I was convinced the evil midget ghost was coming home with me. And I was gone.
I saw that with you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't tell you what I'd seen.
Yeah.
And I just looked at you and said, what did you just see? Tell me. And you said exactly what I saw, a black figure peeking behind one of the box curtains.
Yeah.
Now and that was during a lit walk around. We wasn't even investigating.
No, that was
That
before
was
we
a lit
even
walk around.
started.
Now, the only logical explanation of that is it was somebody messing about in the theatre. I wouldn't expect them to do that, but that is the only logical explanation there is. I don't know. It's very strange.
But yeah,
it was just
Morecambe Winter
fleeting,
Garden.
wasn't it, Steph? Just a couple of seconds of a head.
Oh yeah,
With a figure, with a black hooded figure, just looked round the corner and
yeah.
disappeared.
But that was the same night where you sent me off on my own into the bar with the camera, and there was all the noises and the.
As soon as you got up there was banging.
Yeah.
And Steph's on the walkie-talkie saying, "Phil, I'm getting banging up here. She expects me to come flying up." I just said something like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I was like,
Not
"Phil,
much has
there's
changed.
noises," and he was like, "Okay, great. Stay
Enjoy
there."
it. Yeah.
But you did it, didn't you? But going back to last night, yeah, it didn't really end there for us, did it? Or didn't really end there for you two?
No. So
Well,
yeah, so I borrowed a car off a friend, a little smart car, and it's my own fault because it's probably not suitable for driving 3 hours. It's probably not suitable for driving 3 hours all the way to Stafford and back. Anyway, it was fine. I'm very grateful I've got it. But before I even left to go to Stafford, there was an issue with the electrics. So all the dash electrics went off. So I had to take it to the garage, and then I was late leaving, pick Charlie up, then we get there, and it was fine driving down. And then after the investigation, ready to go home, and in the car, and I just thought, I'm going to power through. It was like 2 hours, 40 minutes drive. So I thought, power through, it'll be fine. And we get half an hour, 40 minutes away from home, and Charlie's fast asleep, and I'm in the slow lane doing about 65 miles an hour, and the back left tire just blows, like absolutely total blowout. Whole car starts shaking. Charlie wakes up in a panic thinking that I've fallen asleep at the wheel or something. She grabs the wheel.
Which you would.
I literally grabbed the steering wheel.
The whole car was just rattling, and there was no hard shoulder. So I eventually managed to like pull into this refuse bay, and within about 10 minutes, a copper showed up.
So quick, by the way. I was looking around for a camera. I have no clue. There must be like drones or satellite that we're unaware of.
Yeah. So while
Did
I
you
was
say the eye in the sky caught you?
Yeah,
the eye in the sky had alerted him that there was a breakdown.
We were in a dangerous place there, wasn't we? Because we were right on
really
the
dangerous.
on a bend as well.
Yeah,
So
really dangerous. And I just kept thinking, like, these lorries, you know, it's like it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in a tiny smart car, and I thought these big lorries, you know, if the drivers are tired, they're not going to see. They're not going to see you there. So I was a bit panicky, and I was freezing. So I was dealing with the copper while Charlie called you and Gary to see whereabouts you were.
Yeah.
To get some advice, because we didn't know what to do, because it's not my car. Do you know what I mean? I'd only picked it up that day and insured it. Anyway, thank God you and Gary came, like knights in shining armor. And yeah, luckily Gary helped.
I said to Gary, I said, we can't leave them. So we've got to go in.
Oh, thanks, guys.
We're very thankful you did.
But it didn't really end there, did it? Because
didn't end there. So we eventually got a tow, but they would only take us to the services. So we got to Lim services, and then we sat there for a couple of hours, and then, long story short, I managed to get the guy from the original garage where the car's from to come out and bring a replacement tire and whatever else. And then he came. You guys went at about 7 o'clock in the morning, didn't you? You and Gary.
Yeah.
And me and Charlie just kipped in the car till about 9 o'clock. We had a couple of hours sleep. And then John came and brought a replacement tire and whatever else.
So do I.
Yeah, I blame John Davis. John brought a replacement tire, and then we start the car up and it won't start. So we've got a new tire on it ready to go, and it won't start, but it was just in the wrong gear. Anyway, that was all sorted. And then the lights blew on the dash again. So there was no dash lights. So luckily John was still there, so we managed to fix that. Anyway, we made it home at 12:15 in the afternoon. So I'd been awake for like, what, 36 hours or something at that
Yeah,
point.
I think me and Gary had been up for 24 hours in the end. But
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. People don't see this side of paranormal investigating.
Yeah.
No.
They don't.
They don't realize that it's like, for you especially, reaching out, contacting, booking the dates in, getting all the fees sorted out, the insurance, and then checking with everybody else that the days are fine. And then it's also the trek to the places. You've got to get there beforehand just to check in. The faff of parking, which you guys had to go through.
Yeah. And then it's all the videos afterwards.
And
editing, yeah.
I know I've talked about packing this in for a long time. I think you said last night, Charlie, didn't you? I said to you in Glim Car Park, now can you understand why I feel like packing it in? And you said, yeah. I think you realised yourself last night, is it really worth it sometimes?
Yeah, and I get that. But I just love it. Nothing makes me happier than going on a ghost hunt. It literally is. I just absolutely love it. I love it. I love going to places that I've never been.
Well, I think that's it, isn't it? I think, like, as well, you know, to go to decent places, you got to be prepared to travel a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you just end up doing the same old places. You know, I think a couple of months ago, we did Gloucester one week and we went to Woodchester Mansion, and then within a week, we were back down in Gloucester again doing
literally up the road.
I know Woodchester Mansion is one of your favourites, Charlie, isn't it?
One of my favourites.
That place.
It's fantastic. But like you said exactly what I say. It's such a privilege. At 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to be in a building like Woodchester Mansion.
Yeah. And to fully just be able to like relax and embrace it.
People can say that.
Well, the amount of places that we've been that you wouldn't ever get access to on a regular day. And not only do we get access on our own. We get the whole place to ourselves. It's amazing, really.
And I think that helps as well, because going back to Tudor World, you know, John the owner's brilliant because he just leaves you to it.
Yeah.
You know, he's not followed. I hate being followed around in locations.
Yeah. You just want to get it, don't you?
Trust you to lock up, go when you want. You know, some places like you've only got 4 or 5 hours in and then bump you out the door.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really give you a lot of time to actually do anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, so some places are better than others. Just the way they run, basically, for paranormal investigators.
Yeah, and it depends on restrictions and all sorts of, you know, council restrictions, and you got to be out this time and whatever it might be. But no, it's great. I love it.
So since like you've been coming with me quite a while now, especially you, Steph.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more like skeptical. How can I put it? Has your visions changed coming with me over the years too?
Yeah, for me, I'm more of a believer now than I ever was. Ever.
That's not my influence though, is it?
No, it's not at all.
I thought you would have been the other way around.
Well, most people do go the other way around, don't they? Most people don't. Most people get more skeptical, but I've gone the opposite way. I think for me, as a child, I felt like we had a spirit in our house on the Cheshire Lines in Station Road. And
is that the pub?
Yeah, where the Bluebell pub was. We lived down that road.
Not the Cheshire Lines pub.
Not the Cheshire Lines pub, no. But I'm talking like from the age of 12, 13. And I never saw this little boy, but you know when you just see him in your mind's eye, like I knew what he looked like, and I'd hear footsteps coming up and down the stairs. My bedroom door would open, and I'd say, "It's all right, you can come in," and the door would open, and then I'd feel like he'd gone out again, and the door would close, and I'd hear footsteps up and down all night. So, and I was never scared. It was just like, oh well, it just is what it is. That it is.
Yeah.
So I was interested, and then I met you through my mum, because you worked with my mum when I was
a long time ago.
Yeah, 15, 16. And I went on a couple of ghost hunts with you, and then that was it. I just absolutely loved it. But I was more skeptical back then, but I think because so much has happened over the years, and I'm like, well, I can't explain that. I've seen things, I've heard things, I've felt things in all different locations, but also not on ghost hunts, just, at the gym or at home or whatever. And I go, okay, well, I can't explain that. That doesn't make sense in my brain. So and then it makes me more of a believer, I think.
Do you think some people are more tuned to it than others?
Yeah, definitely. I think the more spiritually open you are, the more you're going to experience. And the more you experience, the more open you become, I think. But
I agree.
So, like, you've been with some, well, you both have, you've been with, like, event companies on ghost hunts. How does mine differ to you, to going on event groups?
Phil, it's night and day.
No, I mean, but the way because obviously, I'm not being funny, but when you go on event groups, they use all the equipment that you like, which I don't particularly use. I know I allow you to use yours, but I thought, like, going on the event group with you would have found that more interesting because they use all the stuff.
I think, right, just as because I know I went on with one with Charlie, but when I was 16, I think it might have even been before I went on a ghost hunt with you, Phil, I went on an organised one to Nottingham Jail.
Oh, the Galleries of Justice. That is
Yeah.
a play. Before we go any further, I know it's expensive. I need to do the Galleries of Justice.
I would love to go back.
I've heard so many good things about the Galleries of Justice. It's a place I would love to do because you can now get the caves as well.
Yeah, well, we went to
Golden Caves.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And that first ghost hunt was so much happened because it was the first one, and it was an organised event with a big group of people. Went on a coach from Southport.
Really?
Like 40 people on a coach from Southport. God. Yeah.
Well, you actually hired a 40-seater coach to go ghost hunting. It's amazing.
Yeah. And they split us off into little groups, and we did table tipping, mirror deviations, Ouija boards, glass deviation, every single trick in the book we did, and something happened at every single thing. But at the time, because it was my first one, I was like, this is amazing. And then
why does nobody believe in this stuff?
Exactly.
It's so easy.
Yeah. And then when I started going on with them with Phil, I was like, oh, okay, this is real. Like, that felt all of a sudden like a bit of a pantomime. And then when I started going on with them with Phil, I was like, oh, hang on a minute. Like, I know all these people that are here, because it was only a small group with Phil of people that I knew. I know Phil, I trust them. So that's weird that we've heard a bang, because we did used to do more table tipping, Phil, do you remember?
In the day, yeah. Long time ago. Well, as I say, things change. Even I've changed.
Yeah.
I've got more skeptical as I've gone along.
Yeah. But I think
everyone's different.
But my experience with ghost hunting with you is so different to an organised one, because we know each other, and we've known each other for 20 years. We trust each other, and there's no fear in my mind that you would ever set something up, because you never would. Oh. Whereas these organised groups, there's an element of doubt of, they have to make money, they have to make
it for people to go back, basically.
For people to go back. And I understand it's a business for them, but that's not the ghost hunt that I want to do. I don't want to do it.
Just you move on. You move on. I've found, because I've been doing this since early 2000s, and I think I was like everybody else, even though I've always had an interest in ghosts. But I did a radio podcast with Jamie from St. Helens Barracks, and he was asking me about stuff, and I said, it's surprising how you change over the years, though, because on my first ghost hunt, I went to Tutley Castle, my first ever one. And I think, like a lot of people, we all started with the most haunted boom.
Yeah.
We used to
Yeah,
watch it on telly, and then it was like I wanted to go and experience, not because I wanted to copy them, but I wanted to think, I want to see if I experience something what they're doing. And I
Yeah.
went to Tubby Castle. That was my first ever ghost hunt. I got touched in the undercroft. I had my jacket pulled in the undercroft. We did a seance where I got the shakes. But all that now, I put that down to being my first ghost hunt.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
always say to people that come with us for the first time that you brought the odd person, I always say, because it's your first ghost hunt, I can guarantee you'll have some kind of experience, whether that's paranormal or not. You will have some experience because that's what you're expecting.
Yeah. And psychologically, you're so heightened. You're
So even
so,
I was affected. I was affected.
yeah.
The first one I ever did, I thought, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And then the more I did, the more skeptical I got. And then I went away from all the group events, and obviously I
Yeah.
went on my own.
Well, Charlie, obviously you came with, was Antwerp your first ever one?
I'd done like a couple in America, and like a few ghost tours, but again, that was very commercialized. It was more like history storytelling. But the first one where like sat down and dedicated an entire night until like 3 a.m. would have been Antwerp, bar like at houses I've lived in. But I still love Antwerp.
I like Antwerp.
I love
Yeah.
Antwerp.
So everything I experienced at Antwerp on the first one, we still get very similar things happen time and time again.
But what I've noticed about Antwerp, it needs females.
Yeah.
Always the females that get affected by,
Do you not think
by the same phenomena. You look back at the videos, the people who have seen the black mass in the cellar, the people that have had their hair pulled in the cellar.
Like Amy and
We
Beth.
took the twins, Amy and Beth,
Yeah.
and they were separate. I had them on video camera that night, and they weren't even next to each other, and they
Yeah.
both at the same time
Black.
burst into tears. I know Amy and Beth can be a little bit jumpy, but I have never seen Amy and Beth like that ever.
Yeah.
Not to the extent of crying like they did.
Yeah.
Never seen that in my life.
Do you not think though that
Very interesting.
do you not think that women, as a general rule, are more spiritually?
They say that because they're all. What's the word, Charlie? You said it before. Empath. And they always say, don't they, with like mediums? If you look at, I'm not trying to be funny here, but if you look at male mediums, a lot of them have a feminine side.
Yeah.
When you look back over, a lot of the famous mediums, even Derek Okoro, who wasn't gay or anything like that, but he had a feminine side.
Yeah.
I always saw on his videos he had a slight feminine side.
Yeah.
So, has it got something to do with it? I honestly don't know.
But then if you look throughout like history and the people that have always been ridiculed for religion or like spirituality, like witchcraft really only targeted women, but across the world, whether that be in America or whether that was across England and Europe, it was really targeting women. So you do kind of question whether there is something that we just have like
spiritually, like a bit more open.
Yeah, or we know we're kind of at like on a threat, like from not from birth, but obviously you are kind of distilled as a woman to always just be like, hey, just be extra careful. So you kind of do switch on. Like,
be more observant.
Yeah, like if you walk down the same road as Phil and we had one guy hide in an alleyway, but you both had to walk at the same pace, I'm pretty sure you would, or I would know which alleyway the guy was on. Whereas I don't think Phil would unless we told him there's going to be a guy, go find him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just taught through practice of like life.
Maybe, yeah.
But I think it's quite fascinating when we're on the investigation how we've all got slightly different beliefs.
I love that though,
I think it's good to have that.
Yeah.
Difference of opinion. without taking the mickey out of it, I know off camera we have lots of laughs, but everyone sees it on the videos and we're dead serious. But
we do have a really good laugh.
In between the camera work, we have a laugh all the same, don't we?
We do.
Oh, yeah.
I personally think the dynamic of Phil, Gary, me, Charlie is like the perfect dynamic.
We hacked it in the car today. We figured out why.
We saw this. So what we've figured out is I'm the female version of Gary and Charlie's the female version of you.
How does that work?
Because you two are a bit more serious and me and Gary are like,
Charlie, you serious? You having a laugh? I've never known you serious yet.
When we were sat in your car and it had broken down, Steph and Gary were laughing and giggling to one another. Oh, it's fun, it's a memory. And then you and I were like, get me out of here. Like, I'm done. Like, this isn't fun.
I was just praying to God. I thought, here we go now. We're stuck on the motorway, nowhere to go. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to need a number 2.
We had the same
that's what happens to me. When I can't go, I always want to go. And I said to Gary on the way back, I said, I was actually in the car on that junction. I told Gary on the way home, and I said I was actually planning my route in case I needed a number 2. That's true. You can ask Gary. Yeah, that's what I was planning. I was looking at the trees. I thought, well, can I get up that bit of the bank? Can I get up that bit of the bank? I knew you'd been up there anyway, Charlie.
I was.
Yeah.
So I was planning me.
The eye in the sky saw it all.
That's what was worrying me. I wasn't really bothered about being there, but I thought it set my anxiety off that much. I thought this is going to make me want to go.
No, I know. No.
You see, that's how you two are the same. You both got IBS and bowel issues.
Well, we probably have. We're a team, Charlie. We're a team.
Yeah, me and Gary are like little sunshine and light.
But going forward, is there anywhere you want to go and investigate now, or any places that you'd like to do?
I would absolutely love to go up to Scotland, do some like castles and spend some time up in Scotland. I'd like to go to Nottingham. Gales. I'd go back to the world. I'd love to go back to Woodchester Mansion.
Yeah,
I'd love to go back to some theatres because Morecambe, Winter Gardens and Bake Up Theatre are 2 of my favourite places I've ever been.
It's just a shame that places have got so expensive.
It is
for small groups like ourselves, it's very, very difficult.
It's a shame that they don't cap it. You know, there should be a smaller rate for individual private groups than there is for a commercial, you know, because Charlie didn't answer the question before, but what's interesting with Charlie is that her first ghost hunt was with you, Phil, at Antwerp. And then we wanted to go to Newsham Asylum because it's somewhere that I've always wanted to go. And you know, it was so expensive for us as a small group to go.
We were forced to go.
We went with an organised group just to see the building.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely terrible.
I despised it.
Charlie, that was her first experience of a commercial ghost hunt, and we absolutely hated every second of it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the problem, isn't it? Even if you go with groups, you know, there's always that element of contamination. There's always going to be people walking around. You don't know where them people are. That's what I hate about. I know I do a lot of investigations on my own.
Yeah,
I do, and I get slated for that. Everyone says
why?
you shouldn't do it because if you have an accident, nobody will know what's happened to you. And
well, it'll be on camera.
Yeah, thanks. If you see something, nobody's better to going to back you up. But what happened to me in the Tudor world, it was clear as day on camera what I caught.
Yeah.
But I know if I'm in the building by myself, I have no contamination whatsoever. None at all. I
do enjoy that because, like in Antwerp, we've had like whistling and talking and hearing tap-ins, and then I've like taken myself off to go sit in a room all by myself just to see if I could hear it. But No, I really did not enjoy Newsham Park. You know how you just asked? I thought you guys would have enjoyed that because it uses all the gadgets and the equipment. I think there's a real fine line between using the equipment, like how we did yesterday, to try support it. Whereas Newsham Park, all the equipment they had set up, they were bigging up anything. So it was like table tipping. You could literally like see the woman go, "Oh, put all your energy into it, all your energy into it."
And the table
And
moves.
it's just like, yeah, and miraculously it's blew sideways. And then it's just what else did they do when we were at Newsham? They did a Ouija board, but obviously
They
that's
did. Yeah, they did Ouija boards. They put some woman or that fella on the hospital table to see if it would move down the corridor.
yeah.
Table tipping, but we were only there for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're with people that you don't know, and you know there was.
I think that's it, though, isn't it? It's a trust element. It's that trust element when you're investigating with somebody that you need that bit of trust.
Yeah.
The amount of times you guys have all gone, did you hear that groan? And I've had to go, it was my stomach.
Yeah.
Like if that was anybody else and not this group, I don't think people would have admitted.
A lot of people wouldn't know. But I think there's a lot of groups now that are splitting up and doing like things like we are in little groups. I think a lot of people are doing that now. They're coming away from the big group events kind of thing.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, though, that people are going off and doing this themselves?
I think it's a good thing, but as like you said, Steph, and you hit the nail on the head to get something like Newsham Park Hospital or like I did Tuesday Prison. I went with a group event, but the group event I went with knew how I worked, and he tried to accommodate me as best he could to keep me away from other people, kind of thing.
See, we did ask for that at Newsham, but
there's still that element of people walking around. There's still that element of you can hear things going on in other rooms, kind of thing. If you hear footsteps, you just think, well, is that somebody from another group? Is it somebody just gone into a wrong room walking around? Or
you know what I mean? I just don't know, do you?
Especially when it's a free for all and they just say, well, go where you want to go, then anyone could walk past.
Yeah.
You know, well, the places like Newsham Park is £1,500, £1,600 thing to hire.
I know, it's such a shame.
You're not particularly allowed to film there for whatever reason. Shrewsbury Prison.
Yeah, they have limits.
Prison, you're not allowed to film there, really.
Was that Northleach as well?
Northleach you're allowed to film.
Yeah, but Woodchester, they didn't want us filming.
Oh, Woodchester.
Yeah, I think they stopped the filming at Woodchester now.
Yeah, which is difficult because the whole point of you going is to capture footage, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. That's a lot of the reason why you go, isn't it? To document something or...
Yeah, because if you have an experience and it's not documented, it's like, well, did it actually happen, or is it, is it psychological, or am I tired? Or...
It's like I got pushed down the stairs yesterday. Like anybody could come up with anything.
Yeah,
I just wish people would stop paying as much as they do for locations. But when you've got big paranormal event groups who are willing to pay it, because obviously they're getting paid and making money out of it from other people, prices are just going to go up and up and up. But for things like me, especially when I go off on my own, it's difficult. Yeah. I've got to admit, some places have been really, really good because they know how I work. They trust me because I've got a rapport with them over the years. And some of them, not all of them, but some of them have helped me out.
Yeah.
I had to quite pay as much as maybe if I'd taken other people with me.
But that's the way it should be, I think. I think if I was the caretaker of a property that,
that's what I'm saying. The building's empty, and if you're making 50 quid, what would you do? Leave it empty or make 100 quid that night? I know what I'd do.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. But also, if you're the caretaker of a property and you believe that it's haunted and, you're letting people come and investigate, I personally would let little groups come in, and because it's more genuine, it's more legitimate. So why
there's a lot of places. Strelly Hall was one where I think we could only take up to 7 when they dropped the price for so much.
Yeah.
It's Jolly Hall. So there is a lot of places that now will, if it's a certain number, they will drop the price, kind of thing, which is good.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
I just find it difficult. I'm finding it so hard to find other places now that I haven't investigated, because I've done most places really. I know there's probably hundreds of places out there to do, but
yeah. What's your favorite type of place to do then? Like prisons or
I like
theatres?
I like anything military.
Do you?
I always think anything's got a military vibe. I've found could be possibly more active than other things.
Well, when you said places to go, haven't you guys been to like an RAF base museum?
I'm going back to Cornwall next week to investigate RAF Davidstow.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
well,
the
we've done Hat
one
Green
with all the mannequins in that room. The room itself deserves an award. It's absolutely amazing.
Really?
Just as I went in the day to film some B-roll, and I walked in this room, I just looked at it. I thought that was amazing. It was a whole dance floor of mannequins, all dressed in 1940s gear. They even had a bar with the girl behind the bar serving. I thought this is going to be absolutely awesome at night.
Yeah, brilliant.
You walk in, it's just like pitch blackness, and you can just see through your night vision all these mannequins. It's absolutely amazing.
Wow. I can't wait to watch that.
There's so much to do there, though. There's like 7, 8, 9 outbuildings that you can go and investigate. And they've all got the exhibits in and the mannequins. But
so you do multiple nights?
Just doing the one.
Oh, are you?
But if you ever want to go, I can arrange that if you ever want to go back.
Yeah.
I know it's a long way. You'd have to probably stay the night there.
Yeah.
But looking to the future stuff, we could maybe do that. We could maybe, if you got a couple of nights, go down to RAF Davidstow, and what we could do the night before is stop in the Haunted Jamaica Inn and get a room in there for the night.
Yes. Yeah.
And then next day go on to RAF Davidstow and then come back.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really good.
They're the options we have. Sometimes you just need to put a little bit more effort in. I know it's a problem with time and everything else.
I don't mind traveling, and now Maddie's a bit older, it's a bit easier. So, Doug's on. Yeah, I obviously I'm not going to be in the country as much next year.
No.
But when I'm home, I will know in the next month my plan for next year and when I'm going to be home. So I would like to get a few booked in. I'd like to do the Jamaica Inn. I'd like to do, what's the other one? Is Jamaica Inn the one with all the leather jackets?
No, that's the Ancient Ram Inn.
The Ancient Ram Inn. I'd love to go there.
That's £100 per person now.
Well, I don't. For me, anything.
It was £55 2 years ago.
Wow.
And now it's £100.
Wow.
But Gary was saying
£100 would probably be my top end.
But what would you going to do? Pay £50 to go with an event group where there's 40 people there, or
exactly?
It's one of them, isn't it?
Exactly.
After that Newsham, seeing how rigged and extra it was literally, it felt like a school play of just.
It did, yeah.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like as soon as they said we could go, we were the first ones out. We were just like, oh, this is a waste of fucking money. Cool to see the building. Finally got to go inside it, but never doing a haunting happens.
It looks so spooky from the outside too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's such an amazing. I'd love to access that building privately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When there's no people in there.
If those walls could talk, it'd be insane. But
see, hospitals are a good place to do. Old asylum hospitals, and they're just so hard to get. There's Bryn Garth in Wales, which I've done. That's quite good. Not sure how much that is to hire, but that's quite good. That's like a derelict old hospital.
Yeah, hospitals, nursing homes.
I went up in one, it actually smelled like hospital food. Now, where it was embedded in the carpets, the smell, because obviously carpets can bring smells out, can't they, and stuff. I don't know. But that's quite a big place.
I think, I think smell, phenomenon is really interesting.
Yeah.
And you've just reminded me of, you remember Hat Green when we were in that cinema and we smelt and there was about six of us that all had that strong smell of tobacco.
That's right.
I think it's really interesting when that happens, because you can be in a room and it doesn't really smell of anything, and then you get this really strong, intense smell, and it could be embedded in carpet or whatever.
But, walls, possibly.
But it is interesting.
Right, guys, we've been on an hour, so we'll leave it there. Let you get to bed, because none of us have had any sleep today.
I know. So when's the next one? So you're in Cornwall next week?
I'm in Cornwall next week, and then East Drive in November, which you need to.
My mum's still down for that.
Is she coming? Definitely.
Yeah. She
said, I'm so jealous.
I asked her, and she went, "Oh, I'd love to." And I went, "It's on a Monday, so."
So is that definitely sorted? I don't need to get rid of the 2 places.
No, my mum and I will drive down.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it on here now.
You've got a record.
Any problem, I can play it back. Yeah. Right, cheers, guys.
Lovely. Thanks, Phil.
I hope you sleep well. I think we all deserve a good night's sleep.
So I
hope you don't get a visit from Mr. Davis in the night. Right, guys. Cheers for watching. Anybody who's coming and watched. What was that?
Just the image.
Just John Davis.
Yeah, just John Davis. I'm laying in bed and a whiff of just stinky BO, creepy, metal. I'm just like, oh.
Right, guys, thanks for watching. For those who've come on and watched, and we'll maybe do this again sometime. To be honest with you, looking at the future, maybe that's what we should do. When we do an investigation, is maybe before the video's out or after the videos come out, we can talk about each investigation.
I think that's a great idea.
That might be quite good when we've got the time. I know time's an issue with some people and that.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, Phil.
Maybe that's what we should do. Yeah. Or any topics you want to cover yourselves, just let me know.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, guys. Right, good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.